I can never see myself going back to living the way I did before. We've lived here since April 2019, and I've always wanted to live on a small holding ever since I was a child. But as you grow up and get on with life, you have to have a job, you do your education, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, life often gets in the way. So the time was just not right when I was younger. Having said that, I really wish I had done this 20 years earlier. But I'm really grateful that I'm doing it now, so better late than never is what they say. And I'm thoroughly happy. This is the best thing I've ever done. And I'm so glad I've had the opportunity to do it, even though I am over the age of 60, so you're never too old. Well, Bob's even older than me. He won't be shy to tell you if you asked him yourself. And I think it keeps you fit, and it keeps you interested and outdoors, and the lifestyle just suits me right down to the ground. It really is healthy, and I think it does me good. 80% of what we eat overall is home produced or very, very, very locally produced. My background, work-wise, I've had kind of a varied work life, but my most recent job, I think the dog wants to come in. My recent job was working for the NHS, and I was a speech and language therapist, and I worked with children, which I enjoyed doing very much, very rewarding, but I've never really wanted to be working indoors long term. I've always itched to be outside, and now I got the chance to retire 6 months earlier than normal and come out here and buy this place, and we took the chance and did it. I've also done some garden related sort of activities when I was working. I used to volunteer with Garden Organic. I was part of their Master Gardener scheme, which is really just garden mentorship, to help people grow food in whatever sort of space they had. So if they had just a balcony or a small back garden or just a window box or two, how they could maximize the space and grow something to eat. People also help set up community gardens, and we've got 6 acres here, and a lot of that is just pasture and grazing and a little bit of a tree plantation, but I actually grow on roughly a plot of 60 by 100 feet. And we've got 2 polytunnels that we grow quite intensively in, and I try to grow things throughout the year, so we've always got something we can pick and eat in the winter time. I think we've always had at least some salads or something, leeks and brassicas growing. All throughout lockdown, we managed to stay reasonably well fed because I'd preserved a lot of stuff the summer before, but that had always been the plan, was to not rely on supermarkets for food if possible. And part of me was always wishing to be snowed in or have some sort of weather event where you couldn't get to the shop, so that we could test how well we could feed ourselves under the circumstances. When we got better than that, we had lockdown, and some of the shelves in the supermarkets had emptied and people were frightened to come out. Fortunately, we had a lot of stuff put aside, so we were able to eat relatively well, and happy to share with neighbours if they ran out. I was also selling eggs at a stand outside our house, and people were really happy to come by and buy stuff by the roadside, which meant that they didn't necessarily have to go out to the supermarkets. So growing what you can when you can is really important and proving to be a very kind of valuable thing to us, and I think to the local community as well. I share on social media. I just hope to kind of inspire people to kind of have a go at growing their own food, even if it's in some small way, you know, a window box full of herbs or what have you. I just want to show people what is possible and show lovely photographs and pictures, hoping to just encourage people to try new things and not be afraid. I also use it as a bit of a journal, a kind of a diary of what I've done to help me in the future, because it's always useful to look back on how your garden's grown the previous year and compare and make notes. It's very useful. It kind of gives you an idea if the climate really has changed, or if this was a one-off, or is there a certain pattern going on here. And it's something I want my kids to be able to look back on and say, oh look, this is Mum when she was younger, or look, this is your grandma. It's fun, it's a creative process as well. It's interesting for me to do, and it keeps me learning how to use technology, which I'm not always that comfortable with. We've got quite a lot of livestock company as well, and you form bonds with them. You know, the cats we've got, which are, in my opinion, pets, but also working animals because they catch mice and rodents and things. The dog, who plays her part. We've got ducks and chickens, we've got goats and a few sheep, and they're lovely. I mean, you form bonds with those, with their daily routines. They get to know you, you get to know them. They're very friendly. You can chat to them. They may not answer back, but sometimes that's a good thing. You can ask for their opinion, and they may give you that look that gives you some sort of idea of what they might be thinking, if they could say something or not. It's a very full small holding in terms of there's a lot of living things here. So I don't really feel lonely at all. We grow 95% of our vegetables and a lot less of our fruit, because we've got a very immature orchard at the moment. We've got some soft fruit and we get strawberries and things, but we don't buy many vegetables at all. So what we tend to get from the supermarket now is staples like coffee and rice and oil. When I lived in Leicestershire and I grew stuff, I would still get lazy and walk down to the co-op in the evening if I came back from work and I couldn't think of anything to eat, and I might get a ready-made pizza that you pop in the oven. I don't do that anymore. Let's get real here. I just don't do that, and I couldn't because we don't have a supermarket nearby. The nearest supermarket's about 5 miles away. So everything is made from scratch now, pretty much everything, unless I've made it into a ready meal from scratch with our own ingredients, and then it's like take it out of the freezer, defrost it, what have you. But so much more of what we eat now is stuff that we've grown or produced, and it's just, I make all my own bread now, all the eggs and milk is home produced, all the vegetables are home produced. The fruit is still We're still having to buy fruit because I just haven't got there yet with the fruit, but we're working on that. I avoid supermarkets when possible. We have to get certain things from there, obviously, non-food items and pet foods we've got to still buy. But you know, we're working our way towards being as self-sustaining as possible. And I would really like to do one of these challenges where I'd like to see how long I could last just eating stuff that we've produced and not using store-bought stuff. But maybe that's something I'll try in the future. I can never see myself going back to living the way I did before. Not that it was terrible or anything, but I just find living on a small holding so much more fulfilling, so rewarding. I wake up really excited about the day, what I'm going to do. You know, don't get me wrong, there are days where I'm absolutely tired and I think, I just overdid it today. But on the whole, I just love it. It's so purposeful to me, and I appreciate the food that I've produced in a way that probably I never did when I used to buy it from the supermarkets. I've had such a big part in growing this stuff that, you know, from the seeds to the plants to the nurturing to the harvesting, that you just become invested in it, everything. And it's just so wonderful to grow this stuff and to eat it. The meat, the eggs, the milk, I know the effort the animals have put into it, and it's great, and people shouldn't lose sight of all the work and all the energy that goes into producing food. It's quite a big deal.